Look at him, eating whatever he wants, never gaining a pound. While I'm stuck with the boring special and can't lose an ounce.
How's your lunch, man?
Amazing. Yours?
So good.
Oh, I'm so happy for you.
Cool, buddy.
Weight loss isn't fair, but Mochi Health is. The affordable GLP-1 source that can fix your frustration with food.
So, same time next week?
No!
Definitely.
And your friends. Learn more at joinmochi.com. Mochi members have access to licensed physicians and nutritionists. Results may vary.
Big news! Wayfair's tax refund sale is on now. Right now through March 2nd, you can score up to 70% off furniture, decor, appliances, rugs, and more. With fast and easy shipping straight to your door. Plus, amazing flash deals. Shop Wayfair's tax refund sale now to make the most of your refund with huge savings through March 2nd at wayfair.com.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Are you in Toronto right now?
I am, yeah. I happened to fall in love with this beautiful Canadian at this queer music festival called Honcho 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we got married last year.
Oh my God. Wait, that's amazing.
Congrats.
Thank you. So yeah, now I'm like in the process of like doing my immigration for Canada. The timing is crazy, but...
Wow, the jealousy that just swelled
I
in me, I'm not proud of.
Finding love at Honcho and getting Canadian citizenship. I'm like, is that my dream? That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Okay, Babette, how serious are you about running into the woods? Like, I know you always say that. It sounds better, let me tell you, every single day that I read the news. I'm like,
Exactly.
wait, me too.
I feel like I'm like 40% serious about running out into the woods. It is one of a number of escape plans because things feel really bad and scary. And as I'm learning in therapy, I have a really intense aversion to things feeling really bad and scary. Like, I don't want to feel trapped. I don't want to feel like anything is kind of like off limits to me, if that makes sense. And I feel like we're in like this real moment of like enclosing of like life and opportunities. And so I feel like in my mind, like running off to the woods is this fantasy where I could like be self-sufficient and have like a very fulfilling life in spite of like the government and the world enclosing it on me. And I say it's a fantasy because I act as if the woods or like rural America is not also affected by like the government.
Well, I thought of you, I had like a twisted little thought because, you know, with like the new bill that passed, they're selling a bunch of like national park lands. And I was like, is it time for the queers to like pool their money and just buy that shit? And
buy
like,
national parks.
We just live in like gorgeous national parks. And like we like...
No, exactly.
Every like thought I'm having, I'm like, cool, America's already tried this. Like succession.
Exactly.
I'm like, oh, right.
Exactly. Or like stealing land from like indigenous people.
No, literally. People are like, California should be 2 states. It should be North California and South California. I'm like, great. So a little division by North and South. Let's like,
I'm like, that's fascinating.
We're like, we're just different.
Seems like that's happened before, maybe.
I didn't know, like, of course I love to spend time in nature. I was like, I love the idea of unplugging. I totally, like, my parents are super into like homesteading vibes. I think this is like something a lot of people find attractive.
Exactly.
But I didn't really realize how upset I am at living here and being like a modern day American until my friend was like, oh no, I live in Montreal now. I didn't tell you I could get a passport there. It was like their mom was like secretly Canadian and I like felt like pure jealous rage.
Yeah.
Like you had to get out.
Exactly. I actually completely feel that. I think we've talked about this. It is so embarrassing to be so incredibly American in the sense of like your family having been here for generations and therefore having nowhere else to go. Like I know immigration is hard. Like I'm not like romanticizing immigrating to the US, but I'm so jealous of my friends who like have like just casual dual citizenship.
Have that silver lining of like, totally.
Okay, I think this actually explains it perfectly. Like, I do not have anywhere to go really. And so I feel like the closest thing to peace I have is like the woods somewhere like in the US, even though I am deeply unprepared to live on my own. Like, you sound like you're a lot more prepared because your parents, my parents have never been like camping. Like, there's no... I am so unprepared, but it's the fantasy, right? The fantasy that like my kind of very American psyche can like imagine as like some type of escape. And
Totally.
Of course, it's like very problematic. It's a fantasy built on stolen indigenous land, like all of these things. But I think it's literally like all my little brain could like imagine for me.
Yes.
Like, girl, I don't even know what it would look like for me to like leave the country, even though I want to so desperately. It's like, my parents are here. It seems like it would be tough, but it's like moving about 4 hours upstate. I could do that.
And give me a generator.
Yeah, exactly. Or I have some friends. I'm saying my best friend from high school moved up to the Catskills by themselves, is a Montessori school teacher and like a woodworker. And like, oh my God, they have this amazing sheep named Penny, like the school does. So fucking cute. And I went and I was like, I want to live this life. Like, it's gorgeous. But once again, Mika is a lot more self-sufficient than I am.
Well, I bet they got there.
Yeah, totally.
It's fun to like talk to people like today's guest and just be like, how did you do it?
Exactly.
And it was in the last like so many years. You know, it's like a more recent move up there. I don't know if you felt this way, but I felt like positively rabid talking to Kamra today.
Oh, absolutely. I was foaming at the mouth. At everything they were saying. First of all, because they're just like lovely and amazing to talk to, but also just like hearing all the logistical nitty gritty of how did you do this? How did you build this like gorgeous upstate like residency and collective? And
Totally.
like, honestly, they answered a lot of my logistical questions, which was like really helpful.
My name is Kamra. I feel lucky that my parents ate with my name. I won't lie. That was
They
what
really
my parents
did.
named me.
They really did. I was gonna ask, is that a given name or like your?
Yeah, like they did do me dirty in other ways, but like they ate with the name, so we'll give them that. I'm currently taking they them pronouns. Most people are able to guess this within like the first 5 minutes, but I am a Virgo sun, Leo rising, Cancer moon.
Cute.
And I am currently spending most of my time making work. I put out my first album last October. So I'm like currently in the process of like playing it, getting it out in the world. And then outside of that, I do a lot of gathering and like organizing groups for time outside, specifically queer and BIPOC groups. I'm the founder of Activation Residency. It's an artist residency that takes place in the Catskills. I've been hosting residencies since 2018. And then more recently expanded upon that vision and bought 8 acres of land in Bethel, New York. Ooh. And that has been like, just through collaborating with my partner and friends, that has turned into like a cute little fringy farm off the edge of the Mohican forest. And just also like just trying to take it day by day, trying to figure out how to get the work to like transition with the times.
Yeah.
But it does feel like I'm like grappling with a lot and like personally too, being like, what does it mean to be like almost in my mid-30s and still be making art? And also like trying to figure out how to like best use my energy to navigate this time. So
Whoa. That's awesome. I feel like Virgos are so good at they're only in a race with themselves. Because to me, I'm like, you've literally done so much. And you're like, I'm just looking in the mirror and being like, is this all there is? I have an album out. I own 8 acres. I'm just like, oh, okay. Yeah, that is really beautiful.
Thanks for seeing me, because that's so true. It's so real. It's so real.
Yeah. Well, I feel like when it comes to gender, a lot of that we like to talk about in this podcast is like, what kind of steps have you taken, or like how did you get to your current gender presentation? Like what did that journey look like for you?
I would say about 10 years ago, I noticed that I was like really interested in dressing differently. Like I wanted to like wear baggier clothes. I wanted certain aspects of my body to be maybe invisible. And there are ways in which like my sexuality informs my gender and vice versa. But I also noticed that I started using they, them pronouns before I started having queer relationships. And so there's almost this way in like which I feel like my gender like leads me. And so, yeah, I started dressing differently. At some point, I just like woke up and I was only surrounded by trans people. And I was like, whoa, okay, like we're here. Yeah. And then in 2020 is when I started to want to see like more like physical changes in my body. So I underwent through NYU, I was lucky enough to get my surgery covered, and I underwent a chest reduction. And then shortly after that, I started taking testosterone for the first time. And like, honestly, nothing has hit like the first week of being on testosterone. Like, I remember like I was in my truck, like driving down those Brooklyn streets being like, I'm that guy right now. Like,
Oh, I love that.
Like the confidence was out of control. Wow. But also too, like unpacking some of that stuff too, and just like thinking about like what it felt like to like give myself injections into my belly and starting to kind of like unravel those aspects between like gender and medicalization and like caring for oneself, like the care that it takes to kind of just like sit there and like breathe and like anticipating that poke and then being able to like put the little cloth on after to hold the bleed and stuff like that. Like, I think that my gender journey started off in this place of like, what are the ways in which I want to shape shift my physical form to feel more aligned with my insides? And it's now transitioning into like, what are the ways in which I want to like use my body for care, both for like myself and other people. And I think now the lens that I'm seeing my gender through too is like, yeah, how am I showing up? It almost feels like it transitioned from this like exterior wrapping to like this interior wrapping. And now it's doing this like interesting dance of like weaving back and forth between the two.
Whoa.
Yeah, those are my initial thoughts.
Not to be so binary, and I'm sure the answer isn't either or, but does care to you register as like a feminine or a masculine quality?
Ooh, great question. Well, I think it's like both a quality and also just like a way of being. Mm-hmm. And I almost think about ways of being as like genderless, like almost like more archetypal than like this or that, if that makes sense.
Totally.
So like the archetype can sort of like be put on by any gender, but is not necessarily a gender itself.
Yeah.
Like the way that I can maybe conceptualize it in this moment is like care is not a gender, but gender is care or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, totally. And that's great because as you're kind of like feeling fluid or like working through your own genders, like the care is like a constant, like it's not coming in and out as you feel more masc or more femme or something like that.
I feel like that's so powerful when like care becomes a thing that you can decide when you strategically utilize it, right? Or like when you want to employ it. Because I feel like for me, the issue is like, I'm just like, oh my God, because of my gender growing up, I was so conditioned to take care of everyone. And so now I'm really trying to like view care not as this like default, but this thing I'm trying to learn how to opt into. Whoa. And it sounds like your relationship to gender, like that's kind of what you're doing too. It's like you're like trying to figure out like, yeah, when is care something that like maybe can feel masculine or careless? I think like care just not being like innate and like related to, like innately related to gender is like the important part, I guess. It's like it can be anything, you know,
like compulsive care.
Yeah,
might be kind of femme or something
exactly,
like that.
Exactly.
Formative care. Yeah,
totally.
Yeah,
exactly.
Totally. Whoa.
Are there any like words or concepts that you found like helpful to describe your gender outside of like a Western or like colonial binary, like ways you like to describe yourself?
That's a really great question. I'm like, English fails me.
I know. Every day. Every day.
I mean, the word that I like continuously come back to, I think on multiple levels, is embodiment. Like, what am I trying to embody? How am I trying to embody it? Because sometimes I think interacting with my gender is a more playful thing. Like maybe something like drag, like what do I want to try on today? Whereas like other aspects of my gender maybe feel more innate and just like come naturally. I've also lately been thinking a lot about like my kinky side and like my gender and like how they both like developed and come together and like maybe like pull apart as well. Like when I think about like the way I grew up or some of the things that inform my gender, I'm like, ooh, how is that also informing my kinky side? And like, yeah, I try to like play with those parallels a little bit. But then like now in this moment, I'm thinking, oh yeah, maybe there's also something like inherently creative about my gender too, because creativity is something that feels innate and like comes so naturally to me and something I kind of always want to like find a way to swim in. And it's not necessarily like a way that you would often hear somebody describe their gender. But like I would say like my gender is creative.
I love that.
Yeah, with like the kink stuff, does it feel kind of like roles and role playing kind of a thing that makes it like fun? Or I feel like not that kink and drag are the same thing, but they do have similar impulses for me where I'm kind of like, how do we take all the input of like traditions and like what's been pressed down on us and how do we like completely subvert it and like find pleasure in acting it out as like a joke or you know, something like that.
Yeah, exactly that. And I find like a lot of the things that like I find embarrassing about myself or like maybe like the more shadier aspects of myself, like for example, like being a brat, I'm like, ooh, like enticing. Like there's something there where I'm like, ooh, I really like that. But also like if someone were to see it in a specific context, like I might be embarrassed about it. Whereas like playing around with it in like a kinky environment, there's like lots of acceptance and like celebration around it. So it almost like demystifies that shame. And I'm like, oh, it's chill to be a brat, you know? Like it's like, it's that kind of stuff where like the things that maybe about oneself that feel like dark and scary and like have to be sort of invisibilized it can have the space to kind of like come out and like be represented in a scene in a way that diffuses like the shame around certain things.
Totally. And let's like the subconscious kind of come out. I'm like,
yes.
Yeah, it is. It's fun to be like, what is deep in there and what doesn't fit like masc femme binary. It's like, it's going to be way weirder if you don't force it to come out through these two lanes or whatever.
And it really like puts the spiral in gender, I think.
Definitely. You just bloop, 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 bloop. Yeah, totally.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Oh, something we love to ask people about is like embodiment, like you were talking about. Do you have any like rituals or things that ground you? Is there anything that you like to kind of like have as ceremony or something like that?
So I ended up marrying somebody who's really into embodiment and breath and like, and this maybe also connects to gender in a way, but like throughout, I think one's life, like there's certain ways in which we learn to like hold our bodies, like based on like our environments and like the things we're taking in. And I've learned to like hold a lot of tension, like in this like back neck area. And what perpetuates that holding is like the lack of breath. So I've learned like how to like use like certain like chronic pain areas or like certain like communication my body is giving me to like send breath to that area. So like, for example, like if I feel like a pinch in my back left shoulder, I start like just like deeply breathing like from my chest, my belly, and then like energetically literally send the breath to that area. And then within 3 minutes, like the pain has kind of like dispersed and like it's really just like stagnation. And so yeah, like even walking, like I have to walk a lot because I have a Corgi Australian Shepherd mix.
Wow, yeah.
And I'll be just like in the forest walking and I'm like, oh, okay. So like right now my lower back is like telling me that like there's too much pressure on it. So I need to like tuck my back a little bit. Or if I notice that like my thoughts are kind of like going in like all of these different directions, I'll like pause and just like look at my hands to like bring me back to the present moment. So yeah, it feels so important to be like doing that kind of mindfulness work for me personally, coming up out of like, yeah, just like abusive environments, like environments that didn't allow me enough space to like regulate. Those moments of like childhood dysregulation are now asking me to like do the thing. And yeah, the body is just so brilliant. Like every day I wake up and I'm like, my body is constantly talking to me and telling me things. And I think a lot of my gender has also been around that, like building a relationship with my body and myself and like being able to quiet my mind enough to like hear the messages that are coming through. Yes. I'm just constantly amazed by the body and the ways in which it like shows itself.
I feel like that's like the next step for me is like taking classes in breath work or so many things have been leading to breath work on this season.
Oh, wow.
And it's just, a lot of people talking about breath.
It's been coming up a lot. Yeah.
Which is great. I'm like, I have a thing now where when I wake up, I try not to just be in my head. Like there's that moment where when you wake up and you're coming out of dreams and then everything all floods back and all the realities hit and all the dynamics and the what did I say? You know, it's like, whoa, like how is this how I greet the day? Yeah, like I'm like, I try to like feel inside my body and like not have this constant chatter going, even if it's just for like 30 seconds or something. Right. But it is, that's so cool. The idea of like looking at my hands is like I'm like, whoa, I'm going to try that next time.
There's an element to it that I'm like, oh, wow, this is also like a very intimate thing to do with oneself. Just to like I think about the way that I like look at my partners and like adore them and give them eyes or rub their back or whatever. And it's just like looking at my own hands, I'm like, that's me being romantic with myself.
Yeah. I love that. Something that honestly has helped me in the morning, like not just like immediately letting my head like overtake me in the morning. Honestly, having the dog. Like, do you know what I mean? Every day, I always joke, like, Baxter does not let me be depressed because, like, even if I am feeling depressed in the morning, he's, like, licking he, like, doesn't care, right? He just, like, wants his little walk. And I do feel like it's, like, annoying. Like, I'm just like, can you let me sleep past, like, 9 a.m.?
Why are you always happy?
No, literally, like, why are you always up? But it is kind of an exercise of, like, being present because I just have to, like, be there with him. And, like, I don't know. My life has, like, changed ever since, like, I got this little dog and just, like, wake up with him every day because I'm just like, it's just not all about me anymore also, which is really nice. It's like, oh yeah, you have to go outside. Like that makes sense. Like give me 20 minutes, like, and then we'll go. And yeah, it's just very funny. It's like, oh, I can't make eye contact with him because then he's going to want to go. Like back as soon as they lock in, they're like, you know, take me outside right now.
I'm ready to go. As soon as you open your eyes, they're like, I'm ready.
Yeah. They're like, oh, so we're up now. Great.
Yeah, exactly. This Clem.
Oh, great. We're up. Oh, yeah, definitely. And she's like 50 pounds. She has like the longest legs ever. So she's just like constantly pushing me off the edge of the bed, you know, like one little.
Do you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Maybe you're even barely getting by making minimum payments. With credit card debt hitting record highs, National Debt Relief offers real debt relief solutions for people struggling to keep up. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy, and you may be able to pay back less than you owe, regardless of your credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe 10, 20, or even hundreds of thousands of dollars in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living increases. To find out how much you could save, visit nationaldebtrelief.com. That's nationaldebtrelief.com.
Stretch at a time. Like, yeah.
So on this season, we're kind of exploring like different arcs kind of based on our interest. And Allie, you know, of course, is like doing parenting stuff. Whereas like I've been kind of interested in like the urge to like run off into the woods and like do like kind of like survival community work as like this world ends.
Wow.
And so, yeah, I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit more about activation residency and how that came into being and like how you're thinking about community in terms of this like project.
Yeah, the Activation residency into being story is crazy. I had gotten a full ride scholarship to NYU to study global affairs from the State Department. They have this program where if you do a graduate program, in exchange, they pay for it, and then you serve as a diplomat for 5 years after you graduate.
Oh.
So I was teaching English in China when I had applied and got accepted. And then I chose NYU out of all the schools that I got into. And then halfway through my program at NYU, I get a call from the FBI, and they're just like, unfortunately, we found out that you did psilocybin in your undergrad, so we're taking you like out of the program and we're revoking your scholarship.
Wait, who tattled? Who tattled?
Okay, so
I love that. That's your first question.
No,
I love that.
Well, because they had to go to like everyone in your life and talk to you. Like, what?
The problem wasn't that someone snitched. The problem was that someone didn't tell the truth. So unfortunately, like when I had done mushrooms, I was on campus. And it was like one of those doses that like reduced me to a 4-year-old. So I'm like frolicking and like living my best life and forgetting that there are problems in the world.
As you should.
And there was like a write-up from like the campus police. So they asked one of my friends about it, and my friend tried to cover for me, not knowing that they had the info from the campus police. But because my friend didn't tell the truth, they were like,
oh my God.
Sorry, I have amazing friends. Like, sorry.
Yeah,
sorry,
exactly.
Diva. Like, sorry, Diva.
Also, FBI, like someone's
intense.
covering for something, and the FBI is upset about that behavior.
Right, exactly.
The cover up.
Exactly.
Like, be so serious. But honestly, it ended up being a blessing in disguise, because had I graduated and like gone through the program, I would have been serving under the Trump administration, which could never be me. Could never be me. So in the end, the universe was looking out for me, and I still graduated. I just took out loans to finish the degree. Whoa. And then that summer, I like traveled all over, went to all these music festivals, like kind of got my hands dirty, just like doing grassroots arts projects with people in the field, and got really inspired by just the way that I was seeing people connect at festivals when like their guard was down and they're with their friends and they're hanging out and like all of the personal truths are aligning. I was like, oh, this is really cute. Like people are just like out here like vibing and like feeling good together and outside. And I was like, this is cute. I should do something like this. So the fall after I graduated, I had the first activation residency, and it was a group of 20 artists who were all like working artists, mostly artists of color, mostly queer. And I planned a weekend retreat at this retreat center called the Outlier Inn. It's really cute. It has like all of these like little glamping cabins and a hot tub and a sauna and like an outdoor pizza oven, and just like it's such a vibe. And I was just really inspired by like what artists did when they were together. We had one artist come through who was also a sex worker and taught everybody how to give a really good strip dance. We had a lot of artists come through and offer like different somatic exercises. And the thing that really stuck with me after that first residency was people leaving being like, oh my God, I feel so transformed. I feel invigorated. I feel like refreshed. And these were all things that I was like, yeah, I want to create spaces where people leave like feeling that way, because going back to like work or whatever hustle you have to go back to isn't easy. I think another thing that was really cool was like in the following weeks after residencies, like seeing all of the artists like connecting online and like supporting each other's works and going to each other's shows, and like artists that like maybe didn't really ever have like community to come and like rally for their comedy show or their this or their that. So that was really cool to see like that sustain. Yeah, between the years of 2018 and 2021, it just seemed like a space that people like desperately needed and wanted. And then things really shifted in 2020. I had been working for an art fair, lost my job in March, like most people, then got that really fat check from the government for the first time in my adult life. I was like, oh my God, I'm rich. But I also like like a lot of other people around me at that time, kind of like immediately fell into organizing and going to protests without any real like training or background. And so I burned out really fast. Like, I remember being at a protest in Flatbush, just like chanting Black Lives Matter. And then like it dawned on me, I'm like, why am I in the streets like chanting that my life matters? Like, this should just be a given. Like, my brain just could not compute what was happening. So at the same time, I was like, what are some ways I can like support that are maybe more generative or allow people like the space to kind of like process all of this stuff that's going on? So within, I think, a matter of 2 to 3 weeks, I decided to put together some fundraising campaigns so that I could offer a respite retreat for 50 artists and activists who had been fighting on the front lines.
Whoa.
And then after that, there was like a lot of momentum around the project. So I started to think about what would it be like if we had our own land and didn't have to rent from this white guy in the Catskills. So then I started another fundraising campaign for $100,000 to buy land in upstate New York. And like both campaigns like just were funded within a matter of 3 months. Yeah. So when that fall, we had 50 artists and activists come up and we just got to like spoil them. Like, everybody got a stipend. Like, the food was incredible. Like, people got aftercare. Like, it was just so amazing to like see people who had been in the streets for months just like resting in the sauna with their bestie, smoking a joint. Like, I was like, this is the work.
Yes.
And like also just want to like acknowledge and commend like all of the other queer BIPOC folks who were fundraising at the same time for land projects. It's really, really challenging work. And I think a lot of us like went into this with the hope of creating spaces that were going to be like self-sustaining, but have been left with sort of like, yeah, like lots of bills, like lots of like regulatory things around land that we didn't necessarily understand. So I just want to like acknowledge and like shout out those other projects and just sort of like the fallout of reaching so far into the future without enough support to like keep it going.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so intrigued. I'm like constantly on Zillow looking up like land in upstate New York and like texting my dad like, this is a pretty good deal. Like, you know, like 50 acres for so-and-so.
Yes,
and
literally.
Like, and my dad is like, bitch, you cannot build a house. Like, you do not know how to do that. And I'm texting my friends. I'm like, you guys, let's go in on this land. And they're like, we do not know how to build a house. But what are some of the kind of like nitty gritty like processes of like buying land? Like, what unexpected challenges have you encountered with that? Like, what is that?
Yeah.
I'm so curious about like the logistical stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So luckily I had made friends with this guy who owns 3 different properties in the Catskills. And he had reached out to me in 2020 and was like, I'm an immigrant, so I can't really protest, but like if there's anything I can do for you and like the work that you're doing, like kind of on the down low, please let me know. So that's how our friendship started. And he basically just like took me through the whole process. Like, you need a lawyer first and foremost. And he was like, oh, here's my lawyer. And the lawyer was only $1,200. Honestly, I feel like I should start doing like workshops of just teaching people step by step what to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because and be like, here's my lawyer, here's the, because it's. But one of the most important thing about buying raw land, like if you find a plot of land and you're like, oh, this is gorgeous, like I could see myself building here. The most important thing, they call it a perk test. And what that is like you drill a hole in the ground and just like make sure that if you were to install a septic system, like a plumbing system, the water would properly drain. So some of the land in the Catskills is too wet or it's just like really bad soil. And so it won't perk. And if it doesn't perk, that means that you won't be able to have proper plumbing. And so it's like, oh, I just bought this land, but I can't actually like build a bathroom and like take shits. So yeah.
Both like blown away. Yeah.
So when you find a property that you like, you want to put in an offer, but when you put in an offer, you want to put in an offer with different contingencies. And contingencies are like things that like, if this doesn't work out, then I'm pulling my offer out. It's kind of just to make sure that you're not going to get fucked over. So one of the main contingencies that I had when I put in the offer for this piece of land was like, it has to pass a perk test. Because that means if it passed the perk test, when I build a house, the plumbing, everything with the plumbing will be fine. Another thing I did in preparation was I took a permaculture design course before I started looking at land because I wanted to kind of like understand like the various topographies, like what to look for in a land, being able to like even like see that a land is like sloping and like where the water is running on the slope. Like there's so many different like things that the land will tell you about itself, like if you know what to look for.
Totally.
So I took a course, and then it took me 2 years to find something that was viable, because the first place I liked that I saw didn't pass the perk test. A few other places I saw just like wasn't it. Like I would like go and I was like, I don't feel connected.
Wow.
Another thing that also drew me in about this property was it's really, really private. Once you get to the top of the driveway, you can't really see, like it's covered by trees. It's surrounded by blueberry bushes. I wanted land that had both like open meadows, but also like forested area and water. So it's like a long, narrow property, but there's 3 distinct meadows. And then at the very end of the last meadow, there's like just forest. My wife ended up building this like beautiful 24-foot hexagonal deck where we do like a lot of our programming.
Oh, I've seen that.
God.
And then if you walk like 1,000 feet downward, like through the forest, there's this like small pond that runs through like the back of several properties. So it has the water, it has the forest, it has the meadows. And then I remember like driving into the like actual, that's another thing you want to look at when you're looking for land, is like pay attention to the surrounding areas. Like, is the neighborhood well kept? Like, who do you see around?
What flags are flying?
What flags are
Real. Especially in the Catskills. Yeah.
Yeah. These are all things that I was looking at. And then I pulled up and like the realtor was Black. And I was like, I think this is the land. I think this is the one. It was what was the price? $63,900. Wow. And I had raised enough money to just like pay it in full. So there's like no mortgage on it, which is great.
Wow.
Yeah. I will say the one thing I will warn is like building infrastructure on raw land is very, very, very difficult.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So my dad tells me.
Wait, why? Because like you have to like build foundations and stuff like that, like just trying to get
just like the barrier to entry is insane. Like I think I spent like $12,000 on a gravel driveway that's already overgrown by grass. Like the maintenance required, like even getting a tractor to your property is $500. Plus like whatever labor you want someone to do can run you like another 2,000 grand. Like it's just like the barrier to entry isn't it's been so worth it. Like, for example, we just did a 5-day, 4-night dance camp on the farm like a couple weeks ago. Oh my God. And it rained. It rained. It was like the sky was squirting nonstop, like the whole. But it was like, 20 queer people in the forest, and we just like beasted to make each other as comfortable as possible through the rain. And it was the most beautiful thing that I had ever seen. Like, round the clock fire. The food was immaculate. I was like, whoa, like we really can do it. We really can do it. And it's like, sometimes I say this myself and I hear other people saying like, oh, there's not enough models. There's not enough models. We are the model. Like we are the blueprint. Totally. And for me, it just feels like, even if it's these small blips in time, like 4 days here or 2 days here, like being able to like be in the experience of the future that you feel is needed now, I think is enough to kind of like start to carve it out. I think also too, this is an important point to bring up. At one point, there was like a little bit of drama around the land because I had started a financial cooperative where people could like pay monthly subscriptions and like kind of like a susu. So people would pay like monthly subscriptions in, and then anytime anybody needed like a bigger chunk of money, they would just like let everybody know, and that money would go directly to them. And there was somebody in the group who essentially was like, oh, like you should turn the land into a cooperative. And I had to like kind of like grapple with like, what that would mean and what that would look like bringing a bunch of new people into this like land project that had kind of already been established versus me just like owning it outright by myself. And I do think there is a place for cooperative land projects. I do think that they're really important. And also just taking a look at like the history of specifically Black Americans and land, like so much of the land that my ancestors had was taken away from them because it was like divided up so many times to the point where you couldn't even know whose it was. And so I value the critique of ownership and also I see the power in it.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, like, I just saw a TikTok. It's like people love to throw around like the commune idea. Like, let's go all like go to like a commune in the woods. But this person on TikTok was like, bitch, like none of us have any skills. None of us know how to make a campfire. You guys don't even wash your dishes. Like, I do think it's like thrown around a lot. And it's like, I think like, and I do it too. I'm like, you guys, let's go make a commune. But like, I think also like, having the skills necessary to do that, having the internal resources, like, you know, making sure you're not going to like crash out on somebody, that requires work. I think it just requires work. And like, it totally makes sense, the critiques of ownership, but like, also it's like, okay, like, are we really about it? Are y'all really
ready for that life?
Are we ready? Are we actually ready? And if not, like, let's work towards it too. Like that's
like the skills division and stuff, and who's like willing to really put in like the day-to-day work.
Exactly.
I totally get that. Yeah.
One of the things I've grown like really, really passionate about is teaching people while they're on the land, like I call it like off-grid skills, but like, yeah, like how to start a generator and add gasoline. Like I didn't know how to do that a year ago. How to change the propane tank, like how to use the rainwater catchment system that's connected to the solar panels that won't work if you don't have both water knobs open. Like all of these like little things that, and it's crazy too, because it's like when we're out there and we're using electricity, it's the sun. It's just the sun. There's no utility bill. It's like, I'm still trying to like wrap my mind around like some of these technologies and like why they're so important and so kind of like worth the extra effort. And then another thing I will say, especially for people who are like interested in like land projects and sovereignty, whatever that means for you, is actually all of our events have a harm reduction team. And they typically like show up as people who are not only like teaching how to reverse an overdose or how to test drugs, but they're also like checking like really real social dynamics. If like I'm off my game, they'll come to me and be like, like,
wow,
get it together, babe. Like, yeah, it's just like a level of like community responsibility and accountability that I wish I would have seen and maybe like earlier iterations of the work that I've done, but it's added this like new model of like connection where we can talk about the hard things without there being sort of like any like blame or ego. Yeah, exactly.
Wow, that's so cool because I do feel like there's so much deprogramming that I think everyone needs to do. Even the most like, you know, starry-eyed, like, just like, oh, I'm going to go and live on the land and we're going to do this cooperatively. But we still have like Airbnb mindset where we like check in and everything's done and we don't have to care about. Yeah. And I think like just being like, no, you literally show up, but there's nothing. You have to turn you need to know which knobs go where and how to take care of each other. And it's going to be pouring rain and we have to figure this out together. I'm like, that just seems so much more healthy. And I don't know how much interaction I've had with that actual level of working together in collaboration.
Yeah. Allie's a carpenter, so I'm like,
I took like a full basic home construction program. So I'm like,
I can see your mind.
Would like, so love to build some. Oh, I would, but I'm like, I've only done it like on the yard, like at school. So I've never done like a full project myself. But that was like the dream. There's something around like 2022. There was like a tweet that was like, everyone stop being influencers. We need actual electricians. And I was just DJs. Like, wow. Yo, no more DJs. No more DJs learn how to float concrete yesterday.
Learn the
and I feel like
test or whatever.
Learn how to pop a first. Get the fuck out.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I would love to see both of you on the farm at some point.
I would love
I'll bring my child.
Yes. Oh my gosh, with the parenting
baby on the farm. Yeah,
so bad.
Oh my god.
Really?
Wait, really?
Like you know for a fact?
I know for a fact, but I also married someone who's very strict. They're like, we need to raise the bar for parenting. Like, you and I both still have a lot of emotional and spiritual healing to do, babe. Like,
I love
we can have a kid, but like, let's do it right. And I'm just like,
wow.
okay.
Oh my God, I love that.
Yeah. Wish my parents had done a little bit of that. No, they're amazing. They're amazing. They did everything for me. I love them so much. But I think everyone needs to do that a little bit. Like, just like, what do we still have to work on? Not to like get to some kind of perfection, but just to be like checking in with yourself in that way. I think it's so responsible and good.
It's kind of crazy. I'm 36. My partner carried the first kid and I want to carry the next one, but it is like the language around this is like, wow, you're going to be like late 30s. Like that's kind of late. And you're like, I really do feel like it will be so much better. Like imagining myself at like 26 having a kid, I'm like, yeah, I would have at the time been like, I'm ready. And now I'm like, like laughing into the clouds.
That's so cute. That's
LOL. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, people love to hype up like geriatric pregnancies. Like, my mom had me when she was 40. Like, it's fine.
37, 38 is considered geriatric. I'm like, can we get another word?
Uterus is geriatric. Like,
it's like, okay. Damn. Wow. Okay. I really want to talk about kind of your like multidisciplinary artist work and some of the themes that I feel like we've already touched on of like care and nature being outside. Are these like themes that you see yourself exploring for a really long time? And what are the different projects where you've kind of like looked at these things?
I think as an adult, once I became aware that I could be aware of my awareness, like I almost like now have this obsession with accountability. So when was it? 2018, 2019, I ended up dating this trans sex worker who, after 5 months of dating me, they broke up with me and they were like, yeah, I just like felt pressured into a relationship with you. And when I got that feedback, it just completely obliterated my like self-concept. Like I was like, oh my God, like I thought everybody thought I was a good person. Like I can't believe like I can like have the power to like pressure someone. And so I just like intensely started taking relationship classes, like classes on consent and boundaries, how to like say no, how to receive a no. Like I just became obsessed with like communicating better in relationships and like understanding like some of my patterns. And after a couple years of that, I ended up putting out this chapbook called Care Manual, Dreaming Care into Being. And it's just like 9 short chapters on some of the like lessons that I learned through taking these courses and also implementing these practices in my relationships. And yeah, like even today in my marriage, like I feel very responsible when I like do something that doesn't align with my values. And so I think I'll always kind of carry this like obsession with like how to do better, how to be better. And then I think musically, like I just feel so free when I'm singing. Singing isn't something that I always felt like I could do, but because I've been practicing music for the past like 5-6 years, I'm like, oh, I can sing.
Wow.
I've also always been a writer. And so I think for me, singing has really like, this artist, Anastasia, who I saw talk recently, like said it perfectly of like singing is almost like chanting. It's like you're bringing like messages forward. Like there's almost this like spiritual element to it. And I really do feel that way. Like when I'm writing a song or when I'm singing, like my best work is when I'm kind of just like quiet and I let whatever wants to channel through me. So in that way, I also feel like there's this element of like creativity being in conversation with like the larger spirit world and not just like me, a solo individual making work, but like, yeah, my ancestors, like future generations who are like reaching back to like, let me know what's up. And just being able to like have enough space in my body to like receive things that aren't necessarily mine, but have somehow made their way through me. I always like joke with my friends that like ideas are like babies. Like if an idea comes to you and you don't give birth to it, it's just going to find like another host.
Oh my God. My like 5-year-long projects like on the back burner. I'm like thinking about like
Yeah, like has the baby left.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's interesting. Like sometimes I have fits where I'm like, honestly, like my music hasn't like popped off in the way that I wanted to. I'm going to like stop making music. And then I get invited to like go play. I'm playing my first music festival next week.
Congrats. Thank
you.
Where at? Which one?
Yeah, it's called Sled Island. I feel like I have to like pronounce it very specifically because people always think I'm saying Slut Island, which like I get.
Also a vibe.
Also a vibe. Also a vibe. But it's in Calgary, Alberta.
Oh, cool. Wow, pretty.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, pretty.
Up there. Yeah.
But who knows what the future holds? Like, I definitely see myself more and more with the farm specifically, like handing it over to other groups to like hold space in the ways that they want to. And then just having collaborators too, like with music, I kind of will just like make whatever music comes to me in my band. But I also am trying to like, and I think this might resonate with others, is like, I used to be so achievement oriented and like, what is my life going to look like a year from now? I'm trying to get to Friday. Like, I'm trying to not crash out. Like,
For real.
Yeah.
So yeah, my whole compass for how to see life and move through it has changed a lot and like is continuing to change.
How do you feel like you balance like solitude versus like collaboration, and especially someone who like organizes residencies? Because I don't know, I feel like there's this image of like the solo artist going off in the woods by themselves to write for months at a time, and like sometimes that is my vibe. Like right now I'm like, I actually need to like stop hanging out with people and like write and work for a little bit. But then it's also like, you know, these like life experiences and connections like are also like this kind of like fuel for like creative stuff. So I was just wondering if you had any thoughts on that, or like if you have like a kind of like
question,
a kind of work practice or flow that you try to kind of get yourself into when you're like approaching things.
To be honest, I feel like I'm one of those people that doesn't acknowledge just how much they collaborate. I'm like, oh, when you asked that question, I was like, I'm like actually constantly talking to people.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, the residency, you're like 50 or so artists. I'm like, whoa, that's like a lot of people, you know?
Totally. I do think I have to be like very intentional and specific about solitude. I feel like lucky that my wife is also really practiced and big on solitude. And so we almost like kind of back and forth, like encourage each other to take time away. I also like look for opportunities to be in solitude and rest in ways that don't necessarily like remove people from the other picture, but still like nourish me in ways that I feel like solitude would. So for example, I applied for this residency, and that's another thing too. Like I used to focus like heavily on offering residencies to other folks, and now I'm more so leaning into like giving myself that space.
Totally.
So I applied for this residency with this newer residency space called Whistle Space, and it's curated by Will Rawls, the choreographer. And I got accepted. Like, oh my God.
Yes.
I'm going to be in Massachusetts for like a week with other artists of the Black diaspora. And we're just going to be like vibing, talking, working, chilling, eating. And for me, that feels restful. It's like, even though I'll still be like interacting with other people, it's like the kind of environment where I'm not on and I'm not working and other people are facilitating for me. Like that is the kind of solitude that I enjoy.
Yeah.
So I try to do at least one of those a year, if not two. And then I feel like this also doesn't speak to solitude, but like one of the things that I do to nourish myself is I always celebrate my birthday. Like even if no one's around, I'm like, it's my birthday. We're going to have fun.
Oh, I love
Yes.
that. I had
That's
the best
great.
birthday this year doing absolutely nothing. It was the first year I did not have a birthday party, and I just like chilled at home with my roommate. We like got some food, and it was my favorite birthday in a long, long time.
That's awesome.
And it was so great because usually I do like a kind of like a birthday dinner, birthday like event, and like that's so fun, but it's also like a different type of labor and having people. And so I'm like, I felt very like in community with people, but also was like by myself. And I was like, oh, this is stunning.
Yeah.
So nice.
Oh my God. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you
That was
for doing
awesome.
this. That was amazing.
It was really, really good. I just, want to express gratitude to you both for just keeping conversations like fun and thoughtful and like inviting. And it feels like it's been a while since I've been in a space where I've been able to like dialogue in this way. So I'm just grateful.
Oh my God. Thank you so much for saying that. That means a lot. We just like to have like a little kiki. Our interviews are just like a little party.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
Big thank you to Kamra Hakim. You can find them on Instagram at almost karma, but not quite. And be sure to check out their book, Care Manual, Dreaming Care into Being, and their music, along with their fall tour dates. All of this is linked for you in the show notes.
Gender Spiral is an original podcast from Audiation. This episode was mixed by Matt Noble. Theme music is composed by Chanel Kirchlow, remixed by Daria Lord. Additional music by Command Jasmine, courtesy of Molten Heart, with art by Joey Hahn and graphics by Michael Tyrone Delaney.
The show is executive produced by Ireland Meacham, myself, Babette Thomas, and my co-host Ali Beardsley, along with Sandy Smullins, with some additional story editing from Susie Armitage.
If you want to help us out, you can rate or review us wherever you're listening to us right now, and follow us on Instagram at Gender Spiral to get notified about new episodes.
And be sure to support us on Patreon at patreon.com/Gender Spiral Podcast. For $2 a month, you can listen to the entire back catalog of Gender Spiral episodes ad-free. Plus, you can get access to our Discord community. Higher tiers will get you exclusive bonus content, plus gifts from us like these cute little monthly postcards and free merch.
You can also check us out at genderspiralpod.com, where you'll find transcripts for each episode and a link to leave us a voicemail. And you can shop our merch store.
Audiation.